Hey, what is up guys? Welcome to my channel. Thanks for joining me today. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I release content every single day helping you guys make money, make $100 a day, make $500 a day, build your personal brand, increase your Instagram followers. Kind of a breadth of knowledge that I'm trying to release to you guys. So with that said, today I'm going to be talking about exactly from beginning to end the idea of buying and reselling phones. So let's get into the video. So if you guys are new here and just looking to make an extra $100 a day, you've come to the right place. So what I do, and I think I've become a pretty big expert in, is buying and reselling phones. So basically what it means, it's pretty simple. All you do is buy a phone on your local market for cheap. You'll then meet the seller. You'll then figure out a price that you want to pay, agree to that price with the seller of the phone you're trying to buy. You'll meet up with them, make sure everything's correct. And then once you have that phone, you'll relist it for a higher price. So the difference between what you bought it for and what you're going to sell it for is your margin. One great thing about doing this is, one, it could be all cash. So it can kind of be quick money for you if you're kind of looking for that kind of thing. But also is the quick turnaround times. If you do these couple steps effectively in the specific order that I'm going to give you guys, I guarantee you will have success, because this is kind of a laid out thing that I implement every single day. Last month I ended up making $8,000 in sales just from this strategy alone, and I've been doing this for around 3 months. So that should say something how easy it is to pick up. So let's get into exactly the 4-step process that I'm going to be giving you guys to make an extra $100 plus a day. So as you guys can see, I actually wrote this out for you guys. If you want to screenshot this, Control-Shift-4 on your Mac, you can. I'm gonna be walking over every single one of these steps in depth to help you guys kind of understand what I really mean. So the first step in buying and reselling phones is finding the actual phone. So how do you do that? It's actually pretty simple. I use 4 different platforms to do so, and those are Craigslist, OfferUp, LetGo, and Facebook Marketplace. So with these different apps, all you do is you're going to put up an ad that says, I buy phones, and then you're going to put a picture. I'll put a couple pictures here. Here's 1, 2, and 3. You guys can screenshot these pictures, use them for yourself, but I basically use these pictures as kind of the attention grabber to people that are looking to sell their phone. And with that said, you'll put up the ad, you'll put a title, then in the description box, you're going to put something like, I buy all types of phones, cracked, locked, whatever you're kind of willing to buy. And then you're going to click submit. And once it submits, it's going to go out in the market on all 4 of these apps. I recommend using all 4 of them. And then you're just going to kind of wait. People will start to message you, and I guarantee if you use all 4 of these platforms, hundreds of messages will come in within a week's time. I promise. I've had over, I think it was 112 messages one day alone on Facebook Marketplace. That's kind of when I entered the market. And obviously it slows down once people recognize that it's you again. But at the same time, if you're new to this, you can make a lot of money in the beginning, because people are very excited to be able to get profit for any device. And there's people out there, believe it or not, that are willing to sell their device dirt cheap. Maybe it's because they're looking to pay rent. They're looking to pay off a car payment, and this kind of correlates to being the best time of the month, and that being the last like 4 or 5 days of the month, because people need to pay their bills. That's where I find the most success. But post these ads every single day. I recommend twice, one at 8 a.m., one at 5 p.m. Think about a work schedule. People want to see it right before they go to work. Maybe they'll sell you their phone. Maybe meet a time at lunch or after work. And then 5 p.m. when people get off work and they're looking to sell their phone afterwards. And you can meet anytime. I usually like to meet before 9 p.m. Just for my safety and security. But it's really up to you guys. And this is kind of a business model that you can change however you want and A/B test things. So with that said, this leads me to my second point. So how do you actually give a price to people that are looking to sell you their phone? And let me tell you guys, I'd say about 5 to 10% of the people you actually reach are going to be people that are willing to buy you their phones. A lot of people, you'll get hate messages, you'll get people that are telling you to F off, stuff like that, because they don't recognize that you're a reseller. So obviously you're lowballing them to be able to make a profit margin on your side, selling in that difference and making that profit. So you just kind of have to be humble, but always be nice to people, and eventually a lot of people will come back, even if they swear at you the first time. So with that said, you're going to price your phones actually using the platform eBay. So let me actually show you guys exactly what you're going to be doing. So as you can see here, what you're basically going to do is you're going to type in the exact specs of the phone. So what you need is like the gigabyte, the carrier, the condition, and what type of phone it is. So you're going to use those 4 pieces of advice, type into the Google little search bar exactly what it is. So let's say it's an iPhone 7 Plus, 128 gigabytes for AT&T. So you're going to type in those 3 words, and then on the side you're going to see the sold listing. So you want to look at everything sold. If you don't click that, then there's just going to be listings of people that might ridiculously high price their items. So you kind of want to see what the market is selling for that specific phone. And then if you want to click, if your phone's like iCloud locked, you might write iCloud at the end. But use eBay to your advantage. So that's how I price all my phones. You can also use Swappa if you want, but for the sake of this video, I can make another video on that later on as more of an advanced tip. But for those of you that are looking to start out, use eBay. This will help you price your phones, and you can get an accurate representation. So basically take the 5 last sold phones and basically get an average of those numbers, and that's what you should look to sell the phone for. So let's say all the phones on eBay average out to, the last 5 listings average out to $550 for the iPhone 7 Plus. What you're going to do is you can kind of dictate your margin. I like to have about $100 profit per phone, but you also have to take into considerations for eBay fees. So let's say 550, 10%. We'll just make it easy. So around 10% would be 50 bucks. So 550 minus 50 bucks would be $500. So then you want to take the profit margin you want is $100. So then you're going to subtract that additional 100. So overall you're subtracting 150. So 550 minus 150 means $400. So that's what you should be willing to pay for a phone in your local market. That's saying it's clean ESN or clean IMEI. There's nothing perfect condition. Maybe it's brand new. You never really know. So all these different considerations have to be looked at, because this does affect the price of the phone. Every little crack on the screen, scratch on the back, sticky button will affect the price of the phone, and selling on eBay is very stickler because you have to take into consideration every single malfunction of the phone, or else the phone is going to have to be returned, because a lot of the people that buy the phones on eBay are just people that will buy in bulk, and then whatever they do with the phones, I don't really know, or take them overseas or whatever. So they need to be the exact condition, and you can write that in your item description. You should never have a problem with actually pricing a phone and selling them, because you can write exactly what you need, what is wrong with the phone, if there is anything. Otherwise you just write as perfect condition. So let's say you offer $400 to the woman. She says okay, so now what? You have to meet her. One thing you really need is a bill of sale. So before going to meet her, you need to print off a bill of sale, which I can include to you guys for free. If an example, the exact one that I use, if you just leave a comment below, just say, I would like the bill of sale. So what a bill of sale is, it basically confirms that this person, let's say Cindy selling a phone to me, is selling this exact phone with this IMEI to me. My name's Kish. So this confirms that if the phone is blacklisted later on, you have the proof that Cindy sold you this exact phone with this IMEI. So if the cops come to you saying, and she says this phone was stolen from me, the bill of sale confirms and protects you from any sort of legality that you stole the phone. So what you need for them is an ID, and for them to sign that bill of sale. So you can either find these online, or as I said, you can comment below if you want one. You can find these general online. You can make your own. All you need is the pen, paper, and then their identification to confirm that they're the actual owner. And what I like to do, so when you're meeting in person, you can honestly meet anywhere you want, but my tip is meet at the local carrier of the phone. So let's say Cindy's selling me the iPhone 7 Plus for AT&T carriers. What I will do is I'll say like, hey Cindy, can you meet at AT&T store at 10:30? So I'll go there. Most of the time they won't have a problem. So you'll go in, and they'll check the phone. So basically they'll check if it's blacklisted, if it has any financed eligibility on it, stuff like that. Anything that could change the price of the phone, they will check. Sometimes they'll be sticklers about it, but with that said, I'm going to be releasing more videos that outline why I don't ever need to go to the store every single time. There's some websites that I use, but for now, if you're a beginner, definitely meet, if it's your first phone, meet at the carrier of the phone. And it's just, if they're sketchy, they're probably not going to meet you. So it'll help you mitigate who's actually selling a legit phone and who's not. So there's a couple things that you need to check when in person to actually make sure that this phone is legit, and so you can price it reasonably and accurately on eBay platform. So I actually have them written out on this board, and there's actually a bunch of steps. So first, you want to confirm that it's actually the carrier. They will do this at the store for you. You want to make sure it's the model number. People will try to tell you it's an iPhone 6S when it's actually a 6, which is dumb because it just has an S on the back of the phone. You want to check the condition of the phone. Make sure no scrapes, no chips or anything. And if it does have that, you can buy. You just have to take an account and write that on when you're searching the eBay listings and the sold listings item. You want to make sure that you're searching listings that are iPhone 7 Plus. If there's a small ding on the phone, you want to say iPhone 7 Plus, 128 gigabyte AT&T cracked. So you can buy these. There's no problem with them. People will buy them, and there's millions of buyers on eBay. Next is the IMEI. Hopefully the store will check that for you. Make sure there's no balance on it. Make sure it's not blacklisted. You want to check the iCloud account. So with that said, you want to erase all data through the phones. So the way to check the iCloud is to actually just go to your settings and then click the very top of the iPhone. You'll see an iCloud part. And you can go through there and make sure there's no iCloud account on there. If there is, make sure they sign out. If they can't sign out, that probably means this phone is stolen, and therefore you won't buy the phone. The next is the Touch ID. Just make sure it can be scanned. Pretty simple. Go to the camera on the phone. Make sure the front and back camera are not cracked or anything. There's not blurry or anything. And then just the final bill of sale. So with that said, there is a bunch of steps you need to take. If you want, as I said, you can bring this picture to your next meeting if you want, and kind of check through these different items, or just create your own checklist. That's what I did in the beginning for probably the first month of doing this. I couldn't remember everything I needed, so I just brought a piece of paper with everything I needed to check, and if everything checked out, I'd give them the price that I told them. And if anything changes, I'll check the eBay sold listing. So let's say there was a crack on it, but she didn't tell me that in the beginning. I'll actually still buy the phone. I'll just check the value of what that could be and offer minus those fees and everything on the spot. And that's when you can really negotiate with people and really lowball them, because they'll be caught off guard. So the final step of actually buying and reselling phone is actually reselling the phone once you've bought it from whoever in your local market. So this can either happen on your local marketplace. You can flip around for quick cash, just sell it. So as I said before, you listed your ads on Craigslist, OfferUp, Letgo, Facebook Marketplace. Once you buy that phone, you can relist it. You can list it for a higher price. The thing is, take better pictures of it, make sure it's clean, make sure the pictures, there's no like fingerprints on the screen. A lot of the phones, I'd say honestly 50% of the phones that I buy, I resell in the market because I know how to target certain people in my market. I actually live in Arizona, and how much they go for. Otherwise, you can sell on eBay. So if you're a beginner, honestly, what I would say is try selling. If you have the phone, if I bought the iPhone 7 Plus from Cindy for $400, I would go then, literally 10 minutes after, come home, take a few pictures, list it on my local marketplace, list it for $550, and see if anybody's going to grab it. And then I'd wait a week if I were you, and if it doesn't sell, just sell on eBay. There's no problem. Yes, if you need the quick cash, do it, and don't risk eBay. But if you're willing to hold the inventory, wait a week, see if it'll sell. That way you can get cash, because eBay holds your money for about 21 days if you're new to this market and new to the eBay platform. It decreases from there on. But then go from there. If it doesn't sell, go list on eBay. There's no problem with that. So especially if it's an immaculate condition phone, this phone will sell in 5 to 10 minutes if you price it correctly on eBay. So with that said, this is a very simple process that you guys can take advantage to make upwards of $100 to $500 a day if you get really good at it. I know it takes a lot of capital. So first, start with $60, I'd say. Go buy an iPhone 6, perfect condition, let's say like 32 or 64 gigabyte, resell in the local market for $120. Therefore, you can have you can just build that $60 into an empire of like 10 grand, honestly. I've seen case studies on YouTube, and I'm thinking about making one for myself, from starting from like 50 bucks and seeing what I can turn that 50 bucks into over the course of 30 days. If that's something you guys would like to see, definitely leave a comment below. So going over those 4 steps again, basically it's 1, finding the phone using those 4 apps that I said. 2, pricing the phones. 3, agreeing on a price and then meeting up at a local carrier store, having that bill of sale, checking those like 8 to 10 items on the phone. And 4, actually selling them back into the market, either on your local marketplace or eBay. So I know that's pretty a general overview. There's a lot that goes into it for more advanced tips in terms of negotiating, whether the disadvantages and advantages of selling on eBay versus your local market. And this is all videos I'm going to create. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. As I said before, subscribe to join the family. I'm releasing videos every single day. So I hope this helps you make an extra $100. I'm just a college student. I had about $500 in my bank account just about 4 months ago, and now I'm up to 7 grand. So this is possible. Anybody can take this approach because it's so simple and there's so few people out there. So if you're watching this video, definitely give it a try. The worst is if you go buy an iPhone 6, turns out bad, you bought it for 60 bucks, you're out 60 bucks. Then you learn from your mistakes. I can tell you guys, I made so many mistakes along this 3-4 month journey, but I'm to the point now where there's pretty much no other mistakes that can be made. So you learn from your mistakes, you move on. This is business. That happens in any business you come across, but this is a business you can make a lot of quick cash in a short amount of time. So thanks for joining me today, guys, and I'll catch you tomorrow in the next video.